Okay, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Mr. Dan. Today we're going to make us a nice little carnivore recipe. It's a carnivore snack. It's the fat, the excess fat that you trim off the meat. This is from the ribeyes that I got from Publix, and it was really a lot of fat, that the excess fat. So we chop that off and save it. The reason you save it, you can use it in your hamburger grind. You can use it for grease if you want. Well, we do two things. We get the bacon bombs, fat bombs we're making now, and then we're going to get some tallow out of there. So anyway, it's pretty simple. It's one ingredient, really easy to make, and boy, those things are really, really tasty. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so here we have I'm using cast iron today. I've used cast iron before. I don't really like using it as much because it runs hot. I mean, this thing once it gets heated up, it's good to go. But sometimes it's a little too hot. But anyhow, let's turn it on. This is the induction top, so I like to bring it from 175. I start 140, 175, bring it up to temp. We're good to go. Okay, like I was mentioning, this here's the excess fat trim that we had. Took it off now you can use any beef fat you want, but this one came off the ribeye that I got, the big bulk ribeye chunks. And then here we have a little bit, this is tallow. Okay, this is the beef fat. Right now it's in a frozen state because I had it in the freezer. So let's get to this. The reason I like doing this is because there's no waste of any of the meat. Okay, we're using everything, the fat, the meat. If there was a bone in there, I'd keep the bone and make a nice bone broth. But anyway, we're just going to throw a couple pieces in here right off. And as you can see, I got a little bit of meat. That don't matter, just leave it in there. Okay? Now if you get some parts like this that have the connective tissue, just rip that off. Because really you just want the fat. You don't want everything, something that's going to be chewy in there. That's not the idea of this, right? And if the pieces are too big, just cut them down. But these are going to shrink pretty much, so I'm just making a little batch today. So I'll let this render down a little bit, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see we're about 5 minutes in or so, give or take. And you can see the fat's already starting to render down. That's good. You see you got a little grease down there. That's good. It's going to be our tallow. The meat's brown. Now I've already bumped this up to 210 degrees, but the thing is you don't want to burn the grease because then it tastes like crap. And when you try to save it for cooking, you're going to taste that burnt taste. So try once it starts smoking, it'll take the pan off the heat or back down on the heat. But at any rate, we're coming along swimmingly, so we will return. Okay, as you can see, this is coming along just like it's supposed to be. I like doing them in the pan to get the excess, the liquid, the tallow. Take some of these out. But you can do it in the air fryer, set it for probably 400, maybe 8 minutes, and then rotate them around. But that does make a little bit of a mess in your air fryer. I tried it once and it made a mess. So. But I prefer this to get all this liquid gold down here at the bottom. Why pay for it if you can get it out of the meat that you already have, the fat? No waste on the meat when you buy it. Okay guys, I'm going to take this batch out. Now you can cook these as much or as little as you want depending on the gooiness of the fat that you want on the inside. If you want no gooey, then just keep cooking them. They get nice and crispy and crunchy. We like them kind of like this here, so it's nice. And you get a little fat taste in there, but then we top it off with a little bit of onion salt while it's still hot. This is Redmond's, by the way. Redmond's real salt. So anyway, we just top a little of that on there for a little more flavor. And there you have a great snack. Wow. Now what I want to show you, let me move you over here. Okay, so if you're using a cast iron skillet or something with a steel handle or whatever, make sure you got a mitt to pick that up because it's going to be hot. Then we're just going to dump this right here through the strainer. And right here, you got a nice clean tallow, except for me spilling it on the table. And you let that cool down. I'm going to be using it later. I'm making a crock pot recipe, but that's what you get. People pay big money for this stuff. Anyway, so you just let this cool before you put it into any other type of, maybe a plastic container, and put it in the refrigerator. Let it cool down to room temp. I'm going to be using this, like I said, in a little bit. But at any rate, there you have it. This is only a few. I'm going to finish cooking these, but we'll just do that off camera. Okay, like I said, this is just a partial batch here. This is nothing. I still got a whole bunch to cook here, as you can see clearly. But this is delicious. My wife and my daughter will eat the heck. This will be gone in like 2 seconds. Okay, guys. Simple as it was. Till next time. This is Mr. Dan saying stay healthy, stay wealthy and wise. Come back when you are hungry, and we'll show you another recipe just like this. This is Mr. Dan saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.